All right, folks, let's bring in our guest joining us this hour, national trial attorney Michael Jaffer and federal trial attorney Alexis Rosenberg. Great to see you both. Thank you so much for joining me on the program today. Alexis, I'll start with you. What did you think of today's testimony, specifically the friend, talking about what was going on and the loving nature of the relationship between Karen Reed and John O'Keefe? And you could basically see it from the videos that there seemed to be some, I don't know, some affection going back and forth.
I mean, I think that was crucial because we've been hearing all this testimony from the prosecution that they had this horrible, horrible relationship and that they, were fighting constantly. And to hear somebody else's perspective that it actually was a very loving, caring relationship and that they hadn't observed the similar things about the testimony had brought out.
Alexis, it's interesting because I thought the line that was really helpful for the defense was no chance she's skating. So that number, this is within moments of coming upon the situation and I guess learning what had happened or getting some sense of what had happened. This is where he's landing. And I think he gives, if you don't call him, he gives the defense two things. Number one, you can dump all kinds of nefarious behavior on him because of that statement. And also, you can claim that he never investigated the house because of that reason. Later on, you find out there's a text that says, look, the home belonged to a Boston police officer, so you know that's not a problem, etc. So I think those two things work really in the favor of the defense. I don't think they need to call him at this point.
Michael, I agree with you, but I disagree with my panel member. I don't think that it shows that he's an idiot. I think it shows that they were extremely unprofessional and they were not conducting an investigation appropriately. I think that they never in a million years thought that those text messages were going to get out. I mean, come on, they're all coming together. We've got phones, SIM cards being destroyed. We've got dogs disappearing. We got a whole slew of stuff. I do not think at the top of their mind for one moment they thought that their phones were going to be open season, because it generally is not something that defense attorneys can get a hold of in a normal situation, but for the fact that this police department was under investigation.
Quickly, Alexis, Michael makes a lot of sense, and quite frankly, in my hours when I sit and think of this case, I agree with him 100%. The only problem is, I don't think there's enough evidence to prove that he was hit by an SUV. If they had any inkling of evidence that could really lead in that direction, if the ME had determined that this was as a result of blunt force from a vehicle in some way, I think they'd have a slam dunk. But without that, that's the problem of the case.
There's a lot of problems with this case, and that's one of the reasons we have a retrial. I don't think it is clear at all, even though Michael is saying that, the panel member is saying that he believes it is. I think that there are a lot of questions, and they haven't really proven much of anything. They're speculating that these different things happen. It just doesn't make sense. And the video footage, and jurors love videos, the video footage does not support what the prosecution is trying to say.
Berg's still with us. Alexis, I'm going to go back to you, because when you look at it here and you hear his testimony, 4:17 is when he clears the car and it's on its way, doesn't arrive back till 5:31. Now we open up the period where there might have been an opportunity to maybe crack it a little bit and put some of those pieces back at the scene.
Michael, I agree with you. Just look at this photograph. Like I said before, we've got these videos and photos now that are just not consistent with the prosecution's theory. This light looks entirely different, and now we have somebody testifying that they, in fact, said it looked entirely different. I think it's problematic for the prosecution.